Deep in the bowels of the earth, evil reigns. Demons of all shapes wreak havoc, killing in the name of the Chaos Gods. The denizens of the underworld are unequaled in their evil and unlimited in their number. But there is one force, one bastion of hope against the darkness. Peerless warriors dedicated to beating back the infinite evil. The Grey Knights.
Hey folks, I'm Gino the Painting Acolyte. Have you ever wanted to put your miniatures in hell? So in a recent video I showed off the kit bash I did of a Grey Knight's Nemesis Dreadknight. Well, I finally got the thing painted and I wanted to show it off. And I also wanted to show you how to make fun, easy, cheap, customizable lava bases for your miniatures or any other painting projects. The best part? No airbrushing required. Let me show you. First, I've based this technique off of a tutorial I found searching for lava-based techniques when I first started painting lava bases for my miniatures. It's a great tutorial, and I'll link it below in the description, and I really highly recommend you go and take a read as well. It's really informative and useful. Let's get the base out of the way first. A nice large base like the Dreadknights is good to practice lava on, since you have a lot of real estate to work with. The building of the base is pretty simple. Tear up some cork sheets into your desired sizes and glue them to the base. Stack them as tall as you like. These will serve as the rocky base that your miniature will be placed on. You can also include some smaller pieces here and there in the lava that will just be, rocks in the lava flow. Now, for my Grey Knights specifically, I really wanted a sort of City in Hell Doom 2016 vibe to the base. So on top of the cork sheets, I have some broken road type plastic glued down. Basically what this is I melted down a bunch of plastic sprues from old models in acetone, and then I scooped that goo out and I rolled it out with a roller, and then I rolled it with a flagstone clay roller thing that you would normally use for clay or green stuff. This was something that I was trying out. I wouldn't really recommend doing this acetone sprue goo thing. Something like air dry clay or green stuff would be better and easier and safer if you wanted to do this sort of broken road on top of the rock thing. Anyway, for this Dreadknight, I wanted it standing atop the severed head of a demon. So I raided my bits box and used this big old beastie head on the base. I think this was originally part of a Beasts of Chaos kit. Once you have your base built up, it's a good idea to glue down some green stuff balls or spare bits or whatnot onto the base itself. These will serve as bubbles of lava or floating detritus, depending on what you do. The key to the lava itself is really simple. Plain old white glue. PVA glue, Elmer's glue, school glue, whatever you call it, it's all the same stuff. Lay it on thick onto the base. Dread it up on the bases of the cork, and make sure to get it everywhere. On this base specifically, I used some masking tape to tape off the edges so that the glue wouldn't spill over, but for most bases, the consistency of the glue will keep it onto the base as long as you don't way overdo it. If you're worried about overspill, do this whole thing on top of some parchment paper or baking paper or some paper towel or something. It's pretty easy cleanup if that's the case. The PVA glue will smooth out the base and provide some natural flowing lava look to the base, and it will serve as the lava itself. Once it's all dried and done, prime the whole thing black, and then hit the cork with a dark gray dry brush, just to pull out the details. Paint anything else that's going to be on top of the rocks of the cork, any other details that aren't the lava itself. let's move on to the lava. Painting the lava flow seems kind of intimidating, but to be honest, it's pretty simple. I made a bit of a scuffed diagram in Photoshop to illustrate my points. First, we start with a black base, and then we do an all-over layer of dark red. This goes all over the lava, and if you get some on the edge of the cork, that's fine. As our first layer, this color is the lava at its coolest, right before it cools down and solidifies into solid rock and stops being, molten lava. Around your cork, you want to keep it this dark red. Then we move on to a brighter red, a little further away from the cork fixtures and, the other detritus in the lava, than the dark red. On top of that layer, we paint some orange. And you should start to see what the general idea of the lava is. Essentially, we layer and blend and glaze and layer colors in smaller amounts, from dark red up to a bright yellow-white. As we step up in brightness and color, we cover a smaller amount of lava to demonstrate the small veins, so to speak, of hotter lava that's flowing around the cooler rock fixtures. What's nice about this technique is that it's very forgiving, and you can do it in any way. Paint by brush, dry brush, stipple, airbrush, sponges. Trust me, I've done it all in all different kinds of ways, and they all work, just producing different results. I really recommend you experiment and see what you like if this interests you. Once you get up to yellow, you might notice that the edges of your layers are a bit stiff and kind of obvious. That's fine. The key to this lava is lots of fiddling with glazes and washes and layers to blend your layers. Water down your paints and splash them around the layers. A really messy look will actually end up feeling more natural. This should be something that's not stressful at all. Just let it flow. Also, side note, I got a really tiny, cheap hairdryer that I have in my painting station that I use to dry my paint when I don't want to wait for layers for when I'm painting something small like this. And it's a really, really nice, cheap luxury that I'm really glad I ended up getting. When you get up to yellow, I like to paint some white. Dot the brightest parts with white, paint the edges of the lava with white. Then we cover this white with more yellow. Since yellow paint is usually very transparent, this will give us a very bright yellow. This will be our brightest highlight except for some very small, specific, select, precise dots of white that we serve as the very hottest spots of our lava. The key to selling this lava look, though, is the easy OSL we do at the end. Stay tuned for that. The Dreadknight itself was actually pretty easy to paint. Easier than I really expected. I pretty much exactly followed the paint scheme already outlined in my previous Grey Knights video, and I've been talking a lot, so I'll just let this go as a montage. Enjoy! The key to the lava bases is very simple dry brush object source lighting. This will really place your model in the world, make it look real. We essentially follow the exact same steps as the lava, except with dry brushing. Starting with dark red, you dry brush up from the lava onto the model, and importantly, the cork and other terrain and other things that you have in your lava. You cover the most area with this darkest color, as this represents the furthest edges of the glow. Then, you cover less and less area with the brighter and brighter colors, going from dark red to a brighter red, to orange, and then to yellow. I tend not to do a final dry brush of white, as it seems like only the lava should be that bright and hot. Once that's done, voila! So I don't know if this lava paint job is actually realistic or consistent with how real lava actually works and looks, but I don't think that that's that important. What's important is that it looks consistent on the model, and that it looks cool, and that it's fun, and that it's easy to do. It's very forgiving, and I think that you should really just experiment with it, have fun, and try not to stress about it at all. The more free-flowing you feel as you do it, the better it's going to turn out. I love giving my Grey Knights this cool Doomslayer vibe, like they're in like this ruined city in hell fighting demons. I think it's a pretty neat thing that I've got going on with my guys. I really encourage you to try out this technique and see if you like it. Let me know if you do. Hey, I hope you liked this video. If you did, consider giving it a like and maybe subscribing if you're interested. It means a lot and I really appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Gino the Painting Acolyte, and I'll see you then. Take care, and bye-bye.